Hey, what's going on, guys? I've got kind of a dilemma here, and this is my Bible that I use most days and use it to teach and do speaking engagements and what have you. And I got this as the Complete Jewish Bible by David H. Stern. I got this about 10 years ago, and these Bibles were just kind of cheaply made, I feel. I think they just had kind of like a glued binding, and just kind of, the hardcover just didn't really hold up very well. And just usage. This has crossed the Atlantic Ocean with me, I think, I don't know, 4 times, 5 times. I think 4 times. And this is what it looks like inside. It's just in a rough shape, and all this glue is separating here. And but here's the thing: I love this Bible, and I'll show you why. Because I've become attached to it, not because the translation is like spectacular or amazing or anything like that, but because there's hardly a page in here where I have not written something in terms of notes, comments that anomalies in the Hebrew text that I find, and this is probably 7-8 years worth of notes that I've accumulated in this book. Like I said, there's hardly a page. There's hardly a page that you can find that does not have some sort of handwritten notes in it. And so when I'm using this Bible for speaking engagements, it is really nice because I can be reading it, and I can see those anomalies in the text, and I can say, oh, by the way, this and this, and it just, there's no way I can remember all that information about each Torah portion or each story within the Bible. But unfortunately, the Bible is falling apart, literally, and it just looks rough. I mean, I've got duct tape holding it together. But it just doesn't look very professional or any, not that matters, but, so I gotta ask the question, is it time to put this one on the shelf? It's just kind of dirty and stuff. Is it time to shelf this one and get a new one? And I was asking that question for quite some time because I got attached to this. And one of the things my dad did in his life of ministry, he spent 30 or 40 years teaching and leading a church and teaching the Word of God to people. One of the things he did was every 10 years he would buy a new Bible, and he would fill that Bible with notes in those 10 years, and then he'd put that on the shelf. And when he passed away, he had 3 Bibles like that. He spent 10 years of ministry using, and he has 3 kids, and so he gave us each a Bible after his passing. And that was a beautiful picture of just having a piece of his time of study and his teaching and his legacy, and having that sitting on my shelf is priceless to me. It's one of my most prized possessions. So I think, what if I adopt something similar to that? Well, when I was in Israel this past September, I stopped in on Jaffa Street, just outside the Jaffa Gate. And I stopped into this store called the Bible Society in Israel. And it's a little shop at 17 Jaffa Street, just right there outside the old city. And this is mainly a Christian bookstore that has a lot of resources and Bible study resources in Hebrew and in English, in Russian and German, all kinds of languages, really, because Israel's full of people from all over the place. So my question is, do I switch from here to here? And I don't know the answer to that, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this. It's been 3 months since I bought this Bible, and I'm going to open this up and kind of look at it with you guys, and we'll take a look at it and see if it's something if it's worth switching over to. This has Hebrew and English, and I like that because when I'm teaching and when I'm speaking or when I'm just studying, in my personal study time, I like to see the Hebrew letters as well, versus having going to like a website and looking those up on a website with my computer, which always brings in other distractions and everything. So if I have the Hebrew right here where I can look at it and read it, that would help tremendously, especially when I'm teaching and I can look at the Hebrew word, if someone asks a question. So let's go ahead and open it up. So one thing I forgot to mention is, I stopped into this Christian bookstore, Messianic bookstore in Israel, in Jerusalem. And this one really caught my eye. They had a lot of different Hebrew Bibles, but this one really caught my eye. It's just a nice looking Bible. I'm kind of a snob when it comes to that kind of thing. And this one I think was about $56, if I had remembered that correctly. I paid in shekels, so I don't remember what the conversion was, but let's go ahead and open this up. I got this out last night, and I was actually going to open this up last night. And I told my wife, Stacy, you know what? I'm just not ready to open it yet. And I don't think it's ready to be opened yet either. There we go. So you can see it has the gold pages here, which is really nice touch and just really classy. This is genuine leather. All right, and so it reads right to left, just like a typical Hebrew Bible. It's not left to right like you'd see in an English translation or anything like that. So, let's see. Okay, wow. So this is the very first time I've opened this Bible. That's really pretty. It says the Old City of Jerusalem. So I don't know what era of the Old City that would have been. Probably Middle Ages. That's really pretty. The other interesting thing about this Hebrew Bible is there is no Hebrew word per se for the word Bible that we see here. And I don't even know what the word Bible means in English. But here we have Sefer HaBritot, which means the Book of the Covenants, which I thought was a really cool name for a Bible, the Book of the Covenants. So here we have the traditional Jewish division of the books and sections of the Bible. We have the Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim. Okay, that's the Tanakh. Okay, and then we have Vehabrit HaChadashah, the renewed covenant, which is the New Testament. All right, so it has the Bible citing Israel. The Bible citing Israel is a non-profit organization, by the way, if you look them up. And their main focus is to distribute Christian literature or, Yeshua or Jesus focused literature all throughout Israel. Go to the page here. Here's the table of contents. They have, like I said, the traditional division of the books, categorization of the books. Here's the Torah. Okay, so here's kind of the meat and potatoes of it here. So they have these, it's divided up by columns, and here's the Hebrew, and it does have the vowel points. Well, at least the main body of the text has the vowel points, and then here is the English. So one of the things I really wanted to see was, okay, so it does have the Torah portion. It does have the Torah portion divisions within it. So I really like that. I like that about the Complete Jewish Bible, is that it has those Torah portion divisions. So this is Vayera. This week's Torah portion is actually, I think it's back one. Oh, I'm sorry. Gotta go forward quite a bit. So Miketz. Nothing better than a brand new Bible, like the pages are nice and crisp, and this is really exciting. So Vayigash, this week's Torah portion, when this was filmed at least. So let me flip way forward. Ezekiel. The Hebrew print is really small, which will take some getting used to. But I wanted to come forward to at least the book of Matthew. And okay, so that's interesting. It actually has his name as Mati, instead of Matityahu. So it's more of a shorthand. I'm just going to be honest. One of the things I don't like right offhand, and this is really snobby of me, one of the things I don't like is the difference in the fonts, going from the Hebrew here to the Hebrew in the main text. I don't like it when they switch fonts like that. I'm kind of a font snob. And I like consistency in fonts, but I think I can stomach that. I think I'll be able to get over it. Another interesting element of this Bible is that it does not call Jesus Yeshua as in the complete Jewish Bible does. It says when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. So this is predominantly just a traditional Christian translation here, and it doesn't preserve a lot of the Hebraisms that the complete Jewish Bible does, which, you know, I appreciated about the complete Jewish Bible because it taught me a lot of vocabulary, Hebrew vocabulary. So for instance, parts of your body, then your whole body to go into hell. So here it has a traditional hell, whereas the complete Jewish Bible uses the, I believe, Aramaic Gehinom. And so this is just more of a traditional, like something you'd find like in an ESV. But I wonder what it has here. Yeah, so the Hebrew is Le Gehinom, which is interesting. So they translate the English as hell, but then the Hebrew it's Gehinom. And I thought that's interesting. So let's go back up here and see how they translate. They actually don't. That's interesting. I'm looking at where. They actually don't have the name of Yeshua in here. Let's keep going forward a little bit. Let's see if we can find some other interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So one of the things they do when they cite something from the Tanakh, it looks like in the English translation, they put it in all caps. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. That's in all caps. And you know what? Unfortunately, I don't see any footnotes down here quoting or citing where that's from. That's one thing that the complete Jewish Bible did, and this does not. So if you don't know, you know, I guess just, you know, it's just in all caps basically when they make a citation from the Tanakh or the Old Testament or the Torah. I don't like that. I liked having the footnotes down here, and this does not have those, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, so say to the daughters of Zion, behold your king coming to you, gentle and mounted on a donkey. So here's a citation from the prophets, but there's no footnote below. All right. So I would say a definite point for keeping the complete Jewish Bible. Okay, but this is definitely a point for the this translation, because the complete Jewish Bible does not have any maps. And, well, it does, but they're very, very lo-fi black and white maps. Let me see if I can find them real quick for you. We will compare. See this, and they're all in English, which isn't a big deal, but I like Hebrew. So you can see the difference in maps here. Significant difference, right? But you have to know how to read Hebrew, I guess. See, this Bible was mainly made for and printed for Hebrew speakers in Israel, so they're going to cater to that more so. You have, you know, Mitzrayim and Yarden, Israel, Lebanon for Lebanon, Iraq is right here. Okay, so you have Syria. Yeah, so this is good. Let's see if they can impress me any further here. So they have Sinai. They have kind of a blown up version of that, this Sinai area. It looks like they put Mount Sinai right there on the southern tip of the Sinai Peninsula, which I know would drive some scholars crazy, and maybe some of you watching. So they have the missionary journeys of Paul and his different journeys to these different places. So that's fun. I like looking at these maps and trying to figure out, okay, you know, what are these places? Where are these places? and reading them. It's good practice for your Hebrew, you know. So this is Galati, which would be Galatia, stuff like that. I like that, but it would take time to figure that out, you know. I wouldn't be able to do it just at a glance. Here's the old city of Jerusalem. And the Ein Rogel. This is the spring of Rogel. This is the Me'ain HaGihon, the Gihon spring. And this is the temple, the Beit HaMikdash. So yeah, you have some pretty cool features in here with the map. So, you know, I like that. And again, this was made specifically for Hebrew speakers in Israel. So this is the parsha table, is what that's saying. This is the parsha table for the year, basically, is what it's saying. This is the divisions of all the different parshiot and where they're at and the references, the Torah portions. If you're unfamiliar with that, you can just look it up. But this is Revelation, the Galut, Hit Galut. So, you know, there's a serious deficiency in footnotes down here when it's making a citation from the Tanakh. And the Hebrew font is significantly smaller than I pictured it being. And I don't know if I'm ready to make the switch, actually. I'm sorry that you just watched a 15-minute video of me explaining this Bible, but I will use this in my study time, and I will use it. You know, it would definitely take a nice spot on my shelf, and I think I just can't get into writing on a Bible this nice and this classy. It would just kind of hurt me to have to write in the margins, but I think I will continue to use this one. And as beat up as it is, as rugged as it is, it's still usable. It still can be transported around, and if I've got to wrap it in a grocery bag or something like that, I'll have to do it. But you know, this Bible, the translation is lacking. It's basically a paraphrased NIV, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it served me well, and it's just so full of notes and commentary that I'm not ready to give this up yet for this. Now, if I can find something that's a little bit more ragged, that has the Hebrew, you know, something a little bit more, I don't know, rugged or you know, not as fancy as this, basically, and it has Hebrew, in it, it has footnotes in it, then I think I'll be ready to make the switch. But I have not found the Bible to switch to yet. This is a beautiful Bible, and this is a beautiful book, and this would make a great gift, you know, to buy some of these and give them as gifts. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm ready to make that switch yet. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video at least, and you know a little bit about the Bible Society in Israel and Jerusalem. Check them out if you ever go to Jerusalem. 17 Jaffa Street, right outside the Jaffa Gate. But beautiful Bible. They did a good job with it. But like I said, just not ready to make the switch from my complete Jewish Bible. And this is not the perfect Bible, by the way. But it's done me well. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Keep it real.